Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order our Streets and Services hearing. We have a quorum. To my left is Councilman Greenlee, to my right, Councilman Jones and Councilwoman Blackwell, appointed by the President. Mr. McMonagle, can you please read the title of the first bill?
Bill number 190764, an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of North Bouvier Street and Masher Street, North Bouvier Street and Oxford Street, Francis Street and Ridge Avenue, Folsom Street and North 27th Street. And bill number 190802, an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Mount Vernon Street and North 32nd Street, North 42nd Street and Bering Street. And bill number 190803, an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Salford Street and Chestnut Street, Ludlow Street and South 51st Street, Chestnut Street and South 61st Street, Sansom Street and South 51st Street, Irving Street and South 52nd Street.
Thank you, Dion. Just state your name for the record and then proceed with your testimony.
Good day, Council. My name is Dion Braceley, Deputy Manager for the Philadelphia Parking Authority. Thank you for allowing me to testify before Council regarding ordinances 190764, 190802, and 190803, establishing parking regulations. The Philadelphia Parking Authority has no objection to the ordinances previously read before Council and recommends favorable consideration. Thank you again for your time. I will be happy to respond to any questions at this time.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions? Seeing none, is anybody else here to testify on bill number 190764 or 802 or 803? Seeing none, Mr. McMonagle, please read the title of the next bill.
Bill number 190782, an ordinance amending section 9-205 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Sidewalk Sales by prohibiting vending along certain portions of Spring Garden Street, all under certain terms and conditions.
Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Squilla and members of the Committee on Streets and Services. My name is Sara Damo, and I am the Legislative Affairs Manager for the Department of Licenses and Inspections. Today, I am here to provide testimony on bill number 190782, which, if enacted, will amend section 9-205 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Sidewalk Sales. As amended, the bill would prohibit vendors from exhibiting, displaying, offering for sale, or selling goods, wares, or merchandise on the south side of Spring Garden Street between Broad Street and a point 133 feet west of Broad Street. The code currently prohibits this activity on the south side of Spring Garden Street between 15th and 16th Street. As amended, the sidewalk sales would still be prohibited in that area. The department has no objection to this bill as amended and is prepared to enforce its provision should it become law. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony. I will respond to any questions at this time.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, if you'd like to testify, just state your name for the record and then proceed with your testimony.
Sure. My name is Michael Debesai. Okay. Good afternoon, Chairman Squilla, committee members, family members, friends, and our dear customers. Thank you so much for letting me speak here today. My name is Michael Debesai. I am here on behalf of myself and the owners and operators of 5 food trucks and a food cart that have been operated on the south side of Spring Garden at Broad Street for more than 20 years. We are here because Bill 190782 will destroy our businesses, and we ask you to amend the bill to allow our food carts to operate and to allow our food trucks to return to the south side of the street. 5 days a week we work serving our community that includes 5 high schools, Community College of Philadelphia, the school district, and Spring Garden residents. But we are not working today. We are here because the new owner of the state, the new owner that used to be State Building on 1400 Spring Garden and Broad Street told us we must go across street. I just wanted to take a step back and tell you about my background. I started my business in 1998 with a hot dog cart. In 2003, in a daily news contest, I was voted in the top 10 best food vendors in Philadelphia. In 2004, I got a custom-made lunch truck and have been working hard in that truck ever since. I was there serving the community long before the new owner bought the state building. Dear City Council members, we run safe, clean businesses. We are licensed and permitted. For more than 20 years at that corner, we built a life for ourselves and for our family. I use the money I earn to help support my family, my nieces, my nephews, and the entire family. There is no concern about foot traffic in our spot. Our sidewalk is among the biggest in the city. Not only is our sidewalk huge, but the trucks are parked on the street. They don't get in the way. Even the carts which operate on the sidewalk have operated here for many years with no problems because the sidewalk is so big. We have no problem with the amendment that would make a distance between our vehicles and the corner. We can do that, and we can help make sure that everyone keeps the subway entrance clear. In the spring, when construction started on the state building, we were forced to move across the street. Our business suffered great losses. We believed it would only be temporary. If we are forced to operate on the north side, we will suffer. And not only that, in a year or a year and a half, they're gonna do buildings in that site. Where it is parking lot right now, they're gonna have buildings. So that's not an option for us. Dear City Council members, 2 weeks ago, when the construction barrier was removed from Spring Garden, we returned to the south side of the streets. We learned that we were banned. We are here to ask you to let us to continue to work here. This is our livelihood. Dear City Council members, we never had any problems in our spot, no fights. The police never been called for anything. We keep the spot very clean. We work hard. We provide to our family. We serve the community well. If the City Council had known our story and also what is at stake, we believe you would have reached out to us, no doubt. Dear City Council members, now that you know our story, we are confident you will reverse the law you passed for the food trucks. Fortunately for us, the entire community is behind us. We don't have money or power, but we have you to protect our rights. Dear City Council members, this ordeal has cost me some health issue. I already lost 15 pounds in just 12 days. I haven't had a good night's sleep. After I've been there for 21 years doing what I love to do, I was told not to be there, so that really been extremely hard. Dear City Council members, I am confident you will do right by us because I know you take a great honor in serving us. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Michael, thank you for your testimony. Have you been able to see the amendment to the bill?
No, only through my lawyer.
All right. So I think the council president has worked to see that, understanding some of the hardship from the vendors, that it would be clearing the corners of the area to allow the vendors to then stay on that side. I want to say one thing. I worked at the state building for 25 years, and I used to go to your truck all the time.
Wow.
All right, so the silver truck, right? And then the nut guy was right next to you,
Yes.
right?
Yes, he's
So
here also.
He's here too?
Yes.
All right, there he goes, yeah.
Yes.
And I used to get my pumpkin seeds there.
Yes.
But, so we do appreciate your work and service here, and as the city changes and, as we're looking for safety things and measuring, sometimes we don't take everything into account, but I see the president has amended the bill, and so are you in support of that amendment at this point?
For the trucks to go back, is that what that is?
From the corners, yes. Do you want to just come up and just state your name for the record? Matt.
Good afternoon, Chairman Squilla. Matthew Monroe on behalf of Mike Devasai and the 5 food trucks who are at the corner of southwest corner of Spring Garden and Broad Street. Thank you for the committee's time. My clients are in support of the amendment to include the 133-foot setback from the corner. We would ask that the committee, and I don't know if this is appropriate procedurally, but we would ask that the committee consider amending the legislation to permit the food trucks, as this current bill, as I understand it, it deals only with street vendors, which include the food carts. But there was a bill passed while during the construction at 1400 Spring Garden that required the trucks to move to the north side of Spring Garden. Our request is that the legislation would ultimately be amended to permit the trucks to move to the south side of Spring Garden. And if that's not appropriate procedurally, we would just request that City Council consider that at an appropriate time.
1 second. All right, we just got some clarity on it. That was a different bill that amended out the food trucks back in April, I think it was. And this bill was for the vendors. So we can't amend, because of the title, you can't amend this bill.
Understood.
To then go back and amend the other bill. So I think that's something we have to work with the council president on to see if they're amenable to working with that.
Understood, and we welcome the conversation and dialogue with the Council President's office. And as Mr. Devasai was saying, I think that now that City Council knows their story, we're looking forward to continuing the conversation with the Council President's office and with this committee as well.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you, Mike, for your testimony and for all your years of service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there any other questions? Seeing none, is there anyone else here to testify on bill number 190782 as amended? Come on up. Just state your name in the beginning and then hold the microphone closer to you, and then you can proceed with your testimony.
I'm Pastor Aaron Carter. As has been said previous, that I am a vendor. I was a vendor. I came to that spot in approximately 1980. When I came, I was received by Smith-Kine, by State Building, and the Inquiry Building. I stayed there for up until a couple of years ago and never had any trouble. I think during my whole stay there, there was only one incident that happened. I say that and ask the council to consider the fact that, if I may just say, here's a person in line, a poor person in line, and then a rich person comes along, and you ask that person to get out of line so that the rich person might take his spot. Now, if that's justice, then you allow this bill to be passed. But if it's not, then I ask that you amend not only this bill, but the previous bill as well, and allow us to continue to support our families. We made an investment. We were there first when the owners bought the building, they knew that we was there. And then to come in and say to us, you got to move, is totally unfair, in my opinion. And so, again, we ask that you would do us justice and let us continue to work. And we say thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony and your hard work, and we will ask your attorney, Matt, to work with the Council President's office on the other bill to see what can be done there. This one, again, like as you heard, we can't amend this one to change the previous bill, but we will continue to work on that, so hopefully everything will work out for everybody. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you. You're welcome, and thank you.
Any other questions? Is there anybody else here to testify? Again, we're on Bill 190782 as amended. Just state your name real in the beginning and then proceed with your testimony.
Mathew Rossi. Thank you for hearing me today, Councilman. I am the president of the Philly Mobile Food Association. So we are an association of just that, mobile vendors throughout the city, both carts, trucks. And these gentlemen got me involved about 2 weeks ago to help support their cause. These guys are hard workers, just like a lot of the carts and trucks throughout the city. And I was saying to one of the guys earlier that I think we're spending too many times coming in here. And why I say that is we're taking money out of their pockets every day. We do have to do these things. Now, this is part of procedure, but I feel like there could be a way for this to be done ahead of time where we're willing to amend ourselves based on what you guys see best for the city as a whole, if we knew about it ahead of time. One of the problems, and I actually spoke to Council President this afternoon about this, today, no one stood up against the ordinance in July that was passed because we were unaware of it. Now, it was, all proper procedure was followed. It was noticed in the city papers and everything along those lines, but unfortunately, we're scrambling, doing our business on a daily basis. So we're hoping to find a way that, as an actual association in the city that represents, we have over 130 members at this point, we'd like to be included in street affairs that do affect carts and trucks prior to it actually going to legislative vote. So we have to almost defend rather than partake in helping shape it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and I know there was another organization that had the Food Truck Association. Is that still?
Philly Mobile Food Association, yes.
Okay, yeah, so it's
Yeah,
the same organization that was involved in some of the other.
Absolutely. Rob Mitchell
legislation.
and Rocco Galelli.
Right.
Right.
Right, so they've met with me several times
Sure.
over legislation, and I think maybe what we should do is, try to send out information to every council office, and just to make them aware that there is an association out there, and any association or any legislation that we do, try to reach out to the association ahead of time to have your input during that process, because it does make it easier even for us. I mean, sometimes it takes longer to get something done, but it makes it easier for us to do legislation without having people saying they didn't know about it and things like that, because the worst possible thing is not being able to know about it to bring it up, and then once it's passed, it's a lot harder to change. So it's easier to change it before it ever gets introduced or before it gets to this point as a hearing. But I give you guys credit for getting active here on this legislation and continue to do that. But the only way that we could do is by informing all the council members, and let them know of your organization and your presence, the proper contact information. Our office is pretty well aware of it because we deal with them a lot, but not every office does. So by doing that outreach would help you, help us, so that we could work together in the future.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is our existence isn't just about selling food on a daily basis. It is about making sure long-term we're a part of the city. The food truck culture in the city of Philadelphia is very strong, and obviously it's allowed by the government of the city, so we know you support it. It's just these individual cases where we have to march families and real people in and say, this is how it affected, it would be better for everybody if we knew ahead of time, if you guys knew ahead of time. So thanks for your time.
We agree. Thank you so much.
right.
Thank you for your testimony. Matt, do you want to testify? Just state your name real quick and then.
Absolutely. Matt Monroe, again, on behalf of the food truck, five food trucks at the corner of south side of Spring Garden and Broad. Councilman Squilla, appreciate your indulgence. My client circulated a petition for their customers, regular customers, that we would just like to hand up and have made part of the record if we could.
Thank you.
Several pages of folks who work, go to school, study in the area, and have been customers of the food trucks for years.
Note it has been received and will be, it has been received and it will be put on the record.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One more page.
Thank you all. Seeing no other testimony or questions on bill number 190782, Mr. McMonigle, please read the title of the next bill.
Bill number 190080, an ordinance establishing a truck parking regulation on both sides of Milnor Street from Duncan Street to Orthodox Street.
Thank you. Before we get started with testimony, I'd just like to recognize Councilmember Bass, present at the hearing. Thank you. Just state your name for the record and proceed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. My name is Nixon Surak, District Traffic Engineer for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on bill number 190080. The Department of Streets has no objections to this bill. We can have the signs for this regulation posted within 30 days. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there any questions? Seeing none, is there anybody else here to testify on bill number 190080? Mr. McMonigle, please read the title of the next bill.
Bill number 190446, an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on both sides of Ryan Avenue from Leon Street to Crispin Street.
Please proceed, Nick.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. My name is Nixon Surak, District Traffic Engineer for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on bill number 190446. The Department of Streets has no objections to this bill. We can have the signs for this regulation posted within 30 days. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thank you, Nick, for your testimony. Any questions? Seeing none, anyone else here to testify on bill number 190446? Thank you. Mr. McMonigle, please read the title of the next bill.
Bill number 190806, an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on the 1500 block of East Wing of Hocking Street, 1600 block of East Wing of Hocking Street, 1500 block of East Bristol Street, 1500 block of East Cayuga Street, 4300 block of O Street, 4300 block of Castor Avenue on both sides of the street.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. My name is Nixon Surak, District Traffic Engineer for the Department of Streets. I'm here today to offer testimony on bill number 190806. The Department of Streets has no objections to this bill. We can have the signs for this regulation posted within 30 days. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Thank you for your very concise testimony. Any questions? Seeing none, anyone else here to testify on bill number 190806 as amended? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. McMonigle, please read the title of the next bills.
Bill number 190452, an ordinance authorizing the revision of lines and grades on a portion of City Plan number 44-Ash by relocating the southeasterly house line and curb line of 10th Street from Packer Avenue a point southwestwardly therefrom, and relocating the northwesterly house line and curb line of Darien Street from Packer Avenue to a point southwestwardly therefrom, thereby widening said 10th Street and said Darien Street, all under certain terms and conditions, including the dedication to the city of the bed and widened portions of 10th Street and Darien Street being placed on the city plan.
Thank you. I guess, Frank, if you want to start.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Squale and members of the committee. My name is Frank Morelli, Survey Bureau Manager for the Department of Streets, and the Department of Streets would like to offer the following testimony on bill number 190452. This is not an administration ordinance, but an ordinance requested by Mr. Pyro Miletus, P.E. of McLaren Engineering Corporation on behalf of Stadium Casino, LLC. The purpose of this proposed ordinance is to authorize the widening of Darien Street and 10th Street from Packer Avenue to points southwestwardly therefrom, and the relocation of curb lines of the said streets. This action is part of the development of the proposed stadium casino site and will facilitate a redesign of the streetscapes for both affected streets, which will improve access to the casino facility and will include construction of a new bicycle pathway within the footway area of 10th Street. This ordinance is supported by the Department of Streets and is recommended to your committee for favorable action. I thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today and would be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Sara?
Good afternoon, Chairman Squilla and members of committee. I'm Sara Xu, City Planner with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 190452, which was introduced by Councilmember Johnson on May 23, 2019. Bill number 190452 will widen Darien Street and 10th Street in order to construct an extra travel lane to better accommodate future casino vehicle and pedestrian traffic. The Planning Commission is scheduled to consider this bill at its meeting on November 19th with a staff recommendation for approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, is anyone else here to testify on Bill number 190452? Seeing none, Ms. McMonagle, please read the title of the next bill.
Bill number 190308, an ordinance authorizing the division of lines and grades on a portion of City Plan number 307 by striking from the City Plan and vacating the southerly 20 feet wide portion of Vine Street from 17th Street to 18th Street under certain terms and conditions.
Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Squale and members of the committee. My name is Frank Morelli, Survey Bureau Manager for the Department of Streets, and the Department of Streets would like to offer the following testimony on Bill number 190308. This is not an administration ordinance, but an ordinance requested by Mr. Kevin Smith, P.E. of Stantec Consulting Services, on behalf of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. The purpose of this proposed ordinance is to authorize the striking from the city plan of the southerly 20 feet wide portion of Vine Street from 17th Street to 18th Street. This portion of Vine Street currently forms an existing lay-by and parking lane and an adjoining landscaped area, and the proposed striking will not affect the travel lanes of the street. The purpose of this action is to remove this area as part of the public right-of-way and return it to private property in order to better configure the adjacent parcel and facilitate future redevelopment. This ordinance is supported by the Department of Streets and is recommended to your committee for favorable action. I thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today and will be pleased to answer any questions.
Good afternoon, Chairman Squilla and members of Streets Services Committee. I'm Sara Xu, City Planner with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 190308, which was introduced by Councilmember Greenlee for Council President Clark on April 25, 2019. Bill number 190308 will strike and vacate from City Plan a 20-feet portion of Vine Street from 17th Street to 18th Street. This action will help the budding property owner, Archdiocese of Philadelphia, to assemble additional land area for a future development. The current lay-by lane on Vine Street and its associated improvements, such as a concrete median, inlets, curbing, will be removed by the applicant in accordance with the Streets and Philadelphia Water Department standards and specifications. The City Planning Commission at its meeting on May 21, 2019 recommended Bill number 190308 for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, is there anyone else here to testify on Bill number 190308? Seeing none, great job. Thank you, guys. And Mr. McMonagle, please read the title of the next bill.
Bill number 190801, an ordinance authorizing the University of the Sciences in Philadelphia to own and maintain existing pedestrian-scale streetlights at 4514-22 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19143, all under certain terms and conditions.
Sara, you can start.
Good afternoon, Chairman Squilla and members of Street Services Committee. I'm Sara Xu, City Planner with the Philadelphia City Planning Commission. I'm here to testify on Bill number 190801, which was introduced by Councilmember Blackwell on October 17, 2019. Bill number 190801 will permit University of Science to own and maintain a newly constructed pedestrian-scale streetlights at 4514-22 Woodland Avenue. These pedestrian lights are part of the most recent development, including student living, classrooms, and retail uses on the campus. The Planning Commission had approved Bill number 160807 on October 18, 2016 for this development. This encroachment is consistent with the previously approved bill. The Planning Commission is scheduled to consider the current bill at its meeting on November 19th with a staff recommendation for approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Chris, please proceed.
Good morning, Chairman Squia and members of the Streets and Services Committee. My name is Christopher Renfro. I'm an engineering supervisor with the Department of Streets, here to offer testimony on Bill number 190801. This bill authorizes the owner to own and maintain previously installed existing pedestrian scale streetlights at the property, all under certain terms and conditions. The Department of Streets is not opposed to the existing pedestrian scale light encroachments, as we believe it both improves the safety of the immediate area as well as the aesthetics of the street that it is installed on while maintaining clear pedestrian path of suitable width. Thank you for your time. This concludes my testimony, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions? Seeing none, is anyone else here to testify on Bill number 190801? Thank you so much. Mr. McMonigle, please read the title of the last bill.
Bill number 190805, an ordinance amending Chapter 12-2700 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Permit Parking Districts by the establishment of District 39, all under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you, Mr. McMonigle. This bill has no testimony received. If there's any questions, seeing none, is there anyone else here to testify on Bill number 190805? Thank you. That will end our hearing. We'll now go into a public meeting. Chair calls on Councilman Greenlee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the adoption of the amendments to Bill number 190782 and 190806.
Second.
Bills that have been amended, 190782, 190802, and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bills read into the record have been amended. Councilman Greenlee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the following bills be reported out as committee with favorable recommendation. Rules of council be suspended to allow first reading on next session of council. Numbers 190764, 190802, 190803, 190782 as amended, 190080, 190446, 190806 as amended, 190452, 190308, 190801, and 190805.
Second.
All bills read into the record have been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. All bills read into the record have been approved with the suspension of the rules to be read at next session of council. Thank you. That will end our meeting. Have a good day.